Welcome, one and all, to a very spooky Halloween special, where we're offering sights, frights, and bumps in the night. And what more terrifying a place could we go than Florida? The infected appendage that should have been amputated from the greater United States half a century ago. You see, lurking deep within the swamps of the Everglades are creatures so foul that not even the alligators could stomach them. Politicians. Look close, but not too close. The locals have been known to bite. And I'm not just talking about the alligators. Welcome to Florida, where our Republicans choose only the best random mix and match of conservative talking points. Anti-gay, anti-trans, anti-choice, climate change skepticism. You want it, we've got it. Order one clean-shaven white guy and I'll throw in some anti-mask signs for free. But of course, none really stand out like our big three. Ron DeSantis, Marco Rubio, and Rick Scott. Also Matt Gaetz, but if you want to hear about him, I've got a whole saga that I'll be dedicating just to that man specifically. I won't post anything until there's news worth posting, but let's just say his crack team of sex crime defense lawyers is really inspiring my confidence in a sequel. But back to our boy Ron. DeSantis is the current governor of Florida, and just like any politician lately, he's been in the paper for all the wrong reasons. Namely, fighting schools over mask mandates, drafting up Texas-style abortion bills, and riding the Trump train to political stardom. But DeSantis isn't alone out there. We've also got...
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Marco Rubio. That guy who ran for president back in the ye old days of 2016. Most of Rubio's problem is that he doesn't go far enough for the current Republican Party. I mean, you could have some wiggle room on the finer points back in 2016, but... in 2021, you better toe that party line.
They're going to object. Now listen, it's important to understand something. Even the people objecting in the Senate recognize that it's not going to pass. It's not going to change the outcome, but it's going to send a message. The problem is, I think it's a terrible idea.
One thing I do really enjoy about the Republican Party is that every now and then, they all just decide to gang up on a member of their own. Someone will smack Marco Rubio's lunch tray out of his hand and then go make him sit at the losers table with Ted and Jeb. So while Marco Rubio might get the big picture points, it's the finer details that make him a target more often than not.
I have a policy question for you, sir.
Let's see if he answers it.
I will. Don't worry about it, Marco. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, little Marco. I will.
All right, well, let's hear Big Don. Donald.
Don't worry about it,
All right,
little.
wait.
Don't worry about it, little Marco.
Gentlemen, gentlemen,
You ought to show up.
gentlemen, you gotta do better than this.
This guy has the number one.
Mr. Trump, may I ask you,
absentee
Mr. Trump,
record in the United
I'd like to ask you a
States.
policy question.
Doesn't show
Your
up to
proposed
vote.
tax cut.
That's why the
Your
people in
proposed-
Florida do not like him.
And I guess it's a good thing that there are still a handful of Republicans who haven't entirely taken the Trump pill, but that number and the arguments they have with his part of the party seem to get smaller every single day. And they want to complain about us doing witch hunts. But there are far more frightening things lurking in the halls of the Senate than Marco Rubio. Yes, the baddest, baldest guy in Florida has finally made it across state lines. I pray for the safety of all of those in the DC area. This governor turned senator has a long and illustrious history as the CEO of a hospital network that was found guilty of defrauding Medicaid to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. By the time the whole thing was over, the company had paid over $2 billion in settlements. And what was Rick Scott's response when asked about the policies of a company he'd run for almost a decade?
What do you mean by chain? What's your definition of overcapacity? I'm not sure what statutory merger.
Well, aren't you a corporate lawyer? Didn't you practice corporate hospital law, sir?
Corporate hospital law? I don't know what your definition of corporate hospital law would be. I'm not sure what a market is.
And then he won the governorship. Twice, which went about as well as expected. You can also thank him for all the red tide.
And you may ask yourself,
Why? Why?
And the reason Florida elections go the way they do is, like it is in most places, a pretty complicated mix of social, political, and historical factors, with a big heap and helping of racism sprinkled all over it. But even that isn't the extent of it, because even when Floridians do manage to get policies that they like and support passed, in spite of the state legislature, these ghouls manage to rise up from their graves and do their one job, which is pulling out the teeth of any popular and good policy. Don't believe me? Just look at what happened with Amendment 4. You might remember this as the 2018 amendment that restored the voting rights of people with felony convictions once they'd completed their sentences. At least, that's what it was supposed to do. But shortly after, the Florida legislature passed a law requiring that all fees, fines, and restitutions be paid in full before these voting rights can be restored. And this doesn't qualify as a poll tax for reasons. Side note, they also conveniently just passed a law making it even more difficult for citizens' initiatives to get on the ballot. Just in case these peasants get any crazy ideas about voting for policies that they support. I mean, could you even imagine? And the most frightful thing of all are these Senate and House majorities. At the end of the day, this power is all that really matters to them, because it's that which empowers people like Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis to push policies onto people that they're supposed to be representing. And the pursuit of power can take you to a lot of strange places. Nobody can really tell the future, but it doesn't take a psychic to notice that political tensions have gotten a whole lot tenser in the last few years, and that doesn't seem to show any sign of changing. This isn't just an outbreak of political discourse that we're looking at. It's an outbreak of rumor, conspiracy, and fear. And those powerful forces have been used throughout history to convince a lot of people to do a lot of things. If you're looking for some words of advice, try this. Pay attention to the people at the top, but never forget that there might be something else lurking much, much closer to home. And have a happy Halloween. A special thanks to James and Sky Bunny, my wonderful patrons. If you'd like to support me as well as get all of my videos a day early, you can go ahead and subscribe to me over on Patreon. You can also follow me on Twitter at Garrett Barrett. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to get notified whenever my new videos comes out, you can hit the little bell icon. As always, thank you for watching, and have a very spooky Halloween.